and welcome to Bakerstreet.coasters live. So today, as you may know, I went to Cadbury World quite a few days ago, and I didn't do my review, so I am going to do my review today. So where to start? Well, firstly, it was a very short trip to get there because I don't live far. So when I got there, we looked around. We looked for any construction stuff which may be happening, and there was some construction stuff. Now, as we know, that Cadbury World, you don't have to be in Cadbury World. You don't have to go around the tour to go to this cinema or down that area of the attraction. So you basically show your ticket, and then you go into like the area where the cinema is. You've got the Freddo Magic Show, but you also have a Bourneville experience. Now, this Bourneville experience was quite cool back in the day, but it's a bit outdated, and I think Merlin have kind of latched on to the fact that this is outdated, and they've come along and gone, we are going to refurbish this, and this is exactly what they did. They have put a whole new roof, I think they're building a whole new roof around this attraction, and they've also made it, I think they're going to make it interactive, so it's like Bourneville story, but it's like more engaging, because it was kind of the factual part of how Cadbury and Bourneville got together. It's not like fitted for the younger generation, because it was more factual and more wordy, which wasn't very good. But in saying that in mind, sorry, I've got sour battered. But in saying that, that is quite cool that they're doing some work to it, because it shows that they've got development, and they're actually looking at stuff and going towards it and just going, okay, we need stuff done. So that's the first piece of evidence I saw. Hello. And then went to the 4D cinema. Now the 4D cinema, yet again, for my last review and from today, it hasn't changed much. Well, it hasn't changed at all. Well, they've opened up the elevator, which moves. It doesn't actually go down, but it moves, which I think is pretty cool. But at the same time, when I was at last Cadbury World, that elevator wasn't open, it went straight through. Now, I think they tend to do that just to keep people waiting, which again isn't very clever, but because you're in the cocoa beans and you're waiting for people to come out the cinema, the former people come out the cinema, and then you're also waiting for people to come into the cinema area where you wait and look at the cocoa bean news thing. So it's kind of cool, but yet again, I agree with them opening up that attraction, but I think the elevator should be bigger to allow the amount of people you can fit on the seats in there. So yeah, that was the only downfall. And then when you got out the cinema, it was more the case of the interactive screens when you got out are no longer there, which I kind of think was awful. They are there, but you kind of get forced to go around them and not to them, so you can't touch any of them, and I'm just like, why? But you can see them on, which I think is a waste of energy. So yes, you go around, and then you see the green screen, which yet again I don't agree with, because I'll tell you later, but even though you can get your pictures from the green screen, like at the end of the cinema, like 4D cinema, there's also issues with another ride in the attraction later on, which I'll tell you about, which really doesn't make any sense. So you do all that, and then you see the 4D cinema. The cream egg car was there, which again I did take a photo of with me. And then you also had Freddo. So Freddo's Magic Show has moved from where the cream egg car is to next door to the cinema, which I kind of think is weird, but it is what it is. And we didn't get to go in it, unfortunately, because we kind of missed 2 shows. So yes, a few hours later, we went and looked around the shop. We saw the Merlin team look around, and they were like they were analysing something to do with the sign of Cadbury shop, the Cadbury Cafe. But again, the prices are suspiciously high. That wasn't a quote from Wonka, by the way. But yeah, the prices on the shop was suspiciously high, and also the exact same in the cafe was so high. I'm just like, why? Yet again, that's probably our mark. Anyways, so we waited a little bit longer, and then the people were out, like the characters were out, like Bertie Bassett, and then you had the parrot, I don't know his name. You had another person, I don't know what his name is. We had Freddo. So you had them, and then we got into the attraction finally after like 4 o'clock, because we got there around about 11. So we waited about 5 hours. 5 hours. Well, we got into the attraction, same old attraction at the start. Got in, you went to Aztec Bic, which was normal. Hello. So Aztec Bic was normal. You go into the cinema was normal. And then you come out to another cinema, which also was normal. And then you got out, and then the worst thing was worst thing was that you went from the 4D cinema, you went to the Cadbury ride, and I was like, how does that make any sense? Because they've kind of shut off most of the stuff there at the moment. But the only issue is they've said that the Cadbury ride won't be becoming Freddo's magical adventure until later on this spring, which I think is kind of weird because the Cadbury ride's still open, but yet again, it just didn't add up. Anyway, so went for the Cadbury ride, and then we did the do it yourself. It wasn't like do it yourself. It was more of how they make it, and you can do the I forgot what they call it, but it's how they cool the liquor, the cocoa liquor, to then it becoming the chocolate. And then you went through again, and you kept going down. And then where you got the test, like the chocolate, hot chocolate, not hot chocolate, but it's like your melted chocolate. You also found that on your left as you went down that corridor, well, no, on your right, you found that there was no longer the factory of them working and making the sculptures. It was actually do it yourself, which I kind of think was weird. I did make smile always in the do it yourself bit, which again, it will all come up in my video because I did do a video. It was kind of a short one because we kind of zipped through it a bit because it was kind of boring. And then we went out from the do it yourself bit, and then we went to the advertising avenue, and yet again the gorilla wasn't there, which I kind of think was concerning. And then you kind of, you kind of just went out to this board where it says a new magic adventure is arriving or something like that, and it was like Freddo's magical adventure, and I'm just like, yeah, but the ride's still open. Why are you advertising this? And when I asked the people on the Cadbury ride when this ride is going to close, they didn't know anything about it. But I got into the shop, so after we saw this board, it was then the exit, and then we looked around the shop, bought a load of stuff. You don't get the bar of chocolate anymore, which is like 20. If you spend £20 or over, you get a bar of chocolate. You don't get that anymore. So, and that was really misleading. Instead, you spend £30 and you get Freddo, which I kind of think was pretty weird and a bit of a waste of money. But yeah, that was quite cool. I spent over £30. Why not? And then it was like I got told. So I started talking to the person behind the counter, and the person behind the counter has been there for 26 years. And she was like, so the 3 tills they have now isn't actually the 3 tills that was there before. They've moved 2 to the back of the shop. They've moved 2 to the cinema, so where the green screen is. And then there's like 3 others on the side, but it's been boarded off. And that's why also when you look up from the tills, you see a train, and the train track isn't there anymore, which I think was pretty concerning. But I love the train track. And the shop used to be way bigger, like I said before. So then you do all that, and then the next thing you know is you can't get your photos from the Cadbury ride where the Cadbury ride is. You've got to go outside to the 4D cinema, which again is bringing people to the attraction and keeping people there, because it's like you have to go through the 4D cinema. Even that, you don't have to do that, I don't think. I think you can go through the exit. But yet again, people see the 4D cinema because it's not very hidden. Well, you know, it is very hidden because not many people know it's there. So you've got to go through the 4D cinema to get your green screen and your Cadbury ride thing, which I think was pretty weird. But it is what it is, and that's Merlin. There's not much happening to the thing, actually. There's a lot of construction, and we know there's a lot of construction. I've seen people, the Merlin team, they've been analysing the cafe, sorry. Also, in the cafe, they didn't have the TVs on, which I think was also concerning, because they didn't have the Cream Egg, the 2012 Cream Egg Olympics. That was pretty cool to watch. But yeah, I don't know what's happening there. But it looks like it's not the best time to go to Cadbury World at this precise moment. So if you are, go after spring, because don't go, because it's not very good at the moment. Unless you're going to buy chocolate or Sour Patch Kids like I am. So yes, tomorrow always, I'm going to go now. Tell me what you think of Cadbury World. I think it's missing a lot of detail. Anyways guys, I'm going to go now. Smile always. Please remember to subscribe. Bye guys.